Now going over to the culture part of the podcast, you have Bud Light Make It Count tweet gets, well, negative score. It didn't really count, some might say. Now this comes thanks to their individual X account, or as fewer and fewer people are calling it, on Twitter. And granted, they didn't use a picture, so it's just text only. And within a couple days, so again, statistically speaking, I wrote these down, I believe 48 hours after it was, so it's reporting on it a couple days later. So it's had time to brew, pun moderately intended. And Bud Light simply said, quote, "Today is your last chance to drink beer and watch college football this season. Make it count," unquote. And that got 15,400 views and only 90 likes, which is also known as terrible or pathetic. Now, not to brag, but my video last week got one with 12 likes. Now, granted, mine saw about quality over quantity. My likes are just better. They're just the coolest of the people like them. Just like the coolest of people like this video, guaranteed. Hashtag disclaimer, not guaranteed. But nevertheless, in terms of the Bud Light, they also are a multi-trillion-dollar valuated company, or multi-billion-dollar last time I checked. And yet, they still can't pull out this nosedive from the Dylan Mulvaney incident last April 1st, which is the most hilarious day to start a campaign, being April 1st, because so many people thought it was a joke, and then it turned their sales into a joke, subsequently losing about 30% of their sales. But nevertheless, going to the comments, again, it looks like we might have some real ones. Maybe. But we'll look at their profiles to see, are they real? And then, of course, all the ones that are, the most liked comments, spoiler alert, of course, they're all pejorative against Bud Light. Now, the first comment that appears comes from Jacob Roach, and he says, quote, "My team didn't make it, so I should be drinking anyways? Still watching the championship game, though." Unquote. So perhaps a lonely alcoholic. So now Bud Light, to their, well, of course they didn't do a good job in terms of following through. So Bud Light, they are perhaps slowly learning. I mean, they have a lot of, it's hard for them to make their situation worse. They are improving perhaps. And I say that because they actually responded to this person, whereas a couple months ago, I don't know if they were perhaps inebriated by drinking more Bud Light than they could possibly comprehend, or they just didn't exist, but they didn't respond to the comments, which, again, if you have a couple of positive comments, in theory, you want to reward that. Although, if you're like me, you just respond to all the comments, just because I appreciate everyone who takes the time to tune in, and while it may take me a couple days sometime to get to them, I appreciate everyone's feedback, even if it is a critique of the show to make it better. Now, nevertheless, Bud Light, they did respond. So they responded to Mr. Jacob Roach, and they said, "That calls for a cold one." And one person liked the Bud Light response, but no one liked Jacob Roach's response. So Bud Light didn't take a fraction of a second to like the response. It takes quite literally a mouse click. Or if they're on their smartphone, even easier. It takes very, 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 very little effort. Perhaps the Bud Light social media manager, they don't work out a lot. Moving that couple inches to press that like button, that's too much work for Bud Light, perhaps. Or perhaps it is above their pay grade, or perhaps their intellect level. These are all equally valid theories. Now, again, going to Jacob Roach's profile, looks like joined in 2021, so it's not like a new account. Has 14 followers, though granted they might be the best, all about, me, quality over quantity. Described himself as an NFL wrestling peace-loving hippie. He, him, heart emoji. Then going to his activity, he is a fan of the sports balls. A lot of things about, what is this? What do you call that thing? The basketball? Although that's just to potentially win $500 from someone called JJ Watt, which I did do some research. He has no relation to an electrical company. I thought it'd be a good name for like a light bulb brand for light bulbs in the house, but unfortunately, no, that's not his shtick, apparently. Apparently, he's a fellow sports balls enthusiast or player, I believe. So, a lot of reposts for free stuff, something about the WWE, where you could win, I don't know, what they give away free chairs there, like you could hit people with. That actually would be a good promo, that makes sense. So, it looks like it's a real account. It's not all just asking for free stuff. No, about half his content is asking for free stuff, talking about the Chuck Pagan NFL show, or the Pat McAfee show. Though, disappointingly, it has nothing to do with John McAfee, the OG of cybersecurity. But nevertheless, looks like this person wants free stuff from that show. And it looks like a sports balls enthusiast. Interesting. A positive, real response from a real person. I thought it was too good to be true for Bud Light, but might have to print this out and mail it to Brendan Whitworth, the former CIA operative who's the CEO of Anheuser-Busch InBev, or Anheuser-Busch, and just be like, hey, you actually do have a positive comment. You might want to frame this and put it in the break room, because it is a rare thing. Now, the second positive one allegedly comes from Shannon Murray, which again, Bud Light did respond. This is, I believe, 2 times. Out of the 29 comments, Bud Light took 2 times. They responded twice. And Shannon Murray says, quote, always making it count, unquote. And Bud Light responded saying, quote, good thinking, unquote. Of course, Bud Light, they couldn't take the, 1/10 of a second to like this person's response. I mean, this person presumably took some time out of their lonely day or sad life to actually, say something positive about Bud Light. I hope they're not drinking Bud Light. I might have to write them a card just to, tell them, hang in there, life will get better, I assure you. Statistically speaking, it will. Now, going to Shannon's profile, looks like they are a fan of the Boomer Sooners, though hopefully not too soon. You never want the sports balls games to end, I perhaps might say. This person joined in 2009, so they have been on the Twitter X for quite some time. They have 89 followers. This can't be a coincidence. It's the same thing. They're reposting for the Pat McAfee show, saying how they can win money from that sports ball, not the electrician or the light bulb manufacturer, J.J. Watt. So, and then they're reposting for, what is this? Hunt Brothers Pizza. I wonder if they hunt the ingredients, like Elmer Fudd. Might be a good tie with Looney Tunes, but nevertheless, they're a fan of sports balls, that pizza company, Busch Light. What is this, PlayStation? So this person, wow, they just want everything. So it's everything from raffle tickets to win a Mountain Dew cooler to they're a fan of Disney, which tells you something these days. Actually, they're a fan of everything. They want OU tickets. What is this? Gift card for Chick-fil-A, a sports ball signed by Bill Sims. They did repost the Bud Light sheriff tweet from back in December. So again, it looks like of the 2 top comments thus far, rather not 2 top comments because no one liked them. Well, I should take that back. They got 1 like for the first one. The 2 comments that seem to be moderately neutral to positive, they both come from people who just want free stuff. And not like one category of product, not like they're loyal to even one thing. It's just everything they want free. So I would argue that's not really building brand loyalty. It's just finding people who want free stuff, and there will always people who want free stuff. Now, going to other comments, this is the third and final comment I think is moderately neutral. And this comes from Catherine, and she simply said, #easy to celebrate. And I can't help but think that's just an automatic thing for Twitter, because she sounds familiar. Catherine has 4,000 followers, and she, going to her profile, joined in 2022, a little bit newer profile, and she just wants everything free. What is this? Sports Laydown? I have no idea what that is. From Wahoo. Lots of sports ball stuff. Oh, she's one of those people who does that BS #millions profile, which, again, everyone seems to be pushing that crap in order to win $100, which I can't imagine shilling for such a small amount of money. Again, this must be like a, not a free hack. There must be a plugin where you can just have it so that every time there's a mention of a sweepstakes or something, your profile automatically repost it. But of the 3 that appear to be neutral, or at least the top, they're all they don't really seem like the real authentic people. Now, going to the responses, actually has more than 1 like. The first one comes from Tom Ferry, and he says, quote, nah, at least it won't be with training water, unquote. That got 18 likes. C. Mills says, quote, still not an apology, unquote, getting 19 likes. Let's see here. Mortimer Ridiardi says, quote, not your transmission fluid beer, unquote. They got 5 likes. Stephen Wilson simply did a GIF of Steve Carell, I think from The Office, where he's just grimacing as if he's in pain. Perhaps they had a sketch in the office in which he actually saw Bud Light being opened and approaching him. Actually, no, that probably more concern rather than grimace and disgust, or perhaps a mix of all the emotions like that. That did get 3 likes. Hey Blue Hawaii says, quote, fire the agency, the girls first, Bud Light is dying, unquote, getting 4 likes. And I think officially to this day, Alyssa Heiderchild, what's the opposite of brilliant? Mentally vacuous, perhaps? The person who decided it'd be a good idea she didn't like that. She was the former marketing director manager at Anheuser-Busch, and she thought Bud Light was too fratty. She said it on camera, and she said she wanted to change the brand. She certainly did. Subsequently lost about 30% of their sales when she decided to pay Dylan Mulvaney $185,000 for a couple photos and a video. Talk about a negative ROI, to say the least. That might be a fun math calculation later. And yeah, but that sort of kind of shows how messed up the laws and legal system is in the United States. Anheuser-Busch, they're scared that she might sue the company for her ineptitude. So legally, they're saying she's on a leave of absence. She has not been fired. Which, if you cost a company over $1 billion in lost sales, you should be able to confidently fire them like that. I mean, of all the times to fire an employee, talk about a prime example. Lost over $1 billion in sales. They lost, all the brand recognition, all the loyalty evaporated. So of all the times to fire an employee, you would think that'd be an appropriate one where you don't have to worry about getting sued. But in the United States, of course, you have to. Someone named Actors Posting Their L's says, quote, we won't forgive you until you apologize, unquote. That got 6 likes. Jesse responded with a picture of Dylan Mulvaney as a dress and what do you call this it's like a bow tie for your hair? And the text below Dylan Mulvaney says, quote, pretends to be a woman. And juxtaposed to the right of that picture is a picture of a Bud Light bottle, and it says, pretends to be a beer, unquote. That got 18 likes. A lot of GIFs of celebrities. Who is it? Dumb and Dumber. I think it's Jim Carrey. That's from D Bad A's. There's a GIF, and it's him about to throw up. That got 3 likes. Ed Grimley's fan posted, will it be him? And it's a before and after Bud Light juxtaposition of a gentleman and then Michelle Obama. And the before is the gentleman, and the after is Michelle Obama, which is reference to the conspiracy theory, or the conspiracy theory that people think Michelle is really a Mike. And that did get 4 likes. Go F yourself says, quote, says the trans beer you talking tonight, unquote, getting 8 likes. John Bowen says, quote, might sell 4-pack with all the people still drinking your gay beer, unquote, getting 3 likes. Let's see here. Jason O'Hara says, quote, was it worth it? You lost market share and you won't get it back until you apologize, unquote, getting 3 likes. Lee Braun says, quote, haven't had a Budweiser project in a year. Crazy what DEIBS can do, unquote, getting 4 likes. Let's see here. As I continue to scroll down more and more, it's just negative upon negative upon negative. And I don't see this trend turning around anytime soon, but as I always say, time shall tell. Thank you everyone for taking the time to tune in again, trying to get to 4,000 subscribers by the end of January. So click that button, I greatly appreciate it. Also, leaving a comment is a great way to give me some additional feedback. Let me know how I can make the show better and better. Also, a thumbs up, great way to help with the YouTube algorithm, get sure the video gets shared more and more. Lastly, don't forget to take time to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, tell your enemies, tell anyone and everyone. Just stay safe, fight the good fight.